everyone. So this is going to be the presentation about professional and business services presented to you by Perez, Cesar, Bendita, and Nidia Juarez. And it's going to be a team assignment for leadership and innovation course.
Professional and business services industry information. The industry is made up of jobs that provide niche services for others. The services have a wide variety and can range from necessary services related to health and optional services related to personal preferences. Within the industry, you can find three common subsets of services. All subsets offer jobs that have full-time availability within private and public sectors or services as independent contractors. The jobs also vary when it comes to education. There are jobs within the sector that do not require a traditional education like a college degree. However, it is always recommended. Something to highlight about this sector is that it's extremely diverse. You can get a wide range of different types of professionals and different levels. Like mentioned in this listing here, some roles within this industry do require a traditional education, others don't. Some roles do require the availability to work full-time, and others actually allow flexibility and you can work part-time or even build your own schedule. So I think that that's something to really highlight about this industry. There's just a lot of diversity and options. Other highlights over here to the right, we have that this industry, we have 59% of all the jobs in the US are within this sector. So again, this is I actually believe that this is the highest percentage because of all the variety that this industry provides. Lawyers are one of the top paying jobs in this sector, and this sector, amongst all the jobs that it has, is projected to grow 1.8 every year. Moving on into the next slide, we have some examples of positions or jobs within this industry. First and foremost, we mentioned them earlier on, we have lawyers. And lawyers provide representation and offer advice for those in need of support when faced with legal issues or dispute. This job is projected to grow 10%, looking at a time frame from 2021 to 2031. They do require a law degree. Their median income is about $127,000. Within this role, many individuals work more than 40 hours per week. And I'm sure if any of you are familiar with lawyers, you understand why. Next, we have physicians and surgeons who provide treatment and diagnosis of physical health ailments. This role is projected to grow 3%, looking at a time frame from 2021 to 2031. It does require a bachelor's degree and a medical degree. The median income is $208,000, and this role also works more than 40 hours per week. And then finally, we have another example, which is barbers, hairstylists, and cosmetologists who provide hair cutting and styling services, as well as other services related to hair and personal appearance. This is actually the largest projected upward growth. With all the examples that we have, they are projected to grow by 11%. And in this role, it does actually not require a traditional education. It does require a license. And then the median hourly wage for the role is $14 per hour. This is also a really great example of a role that provides increased flexibility. This role, many people may only work on weekends or choose to work in the evenings, just to go ahead and, do other items during the day. It can be any really schedule that the person chooses. Now we have our industry innovation and creativity. So when reviewing this sector, what was seen is that there is a lot of cloud-based innovation. And what we mean by cloud-based innovation is maybe something that you're familiar in using it within your workspaces, but having the ability to access files and data wherever you go, not tied to a specific software or anything like that. So within the cloud-based innovation, we're looking at zero-touch time tracking solutions, project pricing and estimating solutions, and industry cloud solutions. Some other creativity that was seen are outcome based business models, having knowledge as a service, and digitizing the workforce. In other words, finding other alternatives and ways to digitize some of the day to day tasks and create an efficiency for them.
Hi, this is Cesar, Ryan, Bendita, and I will be discussing about information and research of risk when it comes to professional business industry. So in every profession, there are rules or ethics that should be adhered to. Failure to follow protocols may sometimes lead to the possibility of being sued or be subjected to legal action. Malpractice is one of the most common risks inherent in the job of a professional, whether it be a lawyer, a doctor, barbershop, or others. The malpractice in medical profession covers areas such as legal, medical insurance, government entity, and medical care. It was mentioned in a study that the patients who are injured due to medical malpractice sometimes do not get enough compensation. The recent crisis on medical practice did not result to an effective reform on the policy or did not modify the fundamental incentives to stakeholders. The cost of malpractice differs by profession, whether it can be a nurse, a doctor, a physical therapist, and it depends on the amount of coverage. In the bottom, it is recommended that if a doctor is being sued, he or she should contact the insurer immediately in order to remediate the problem. Unnecessary delays could mean judgment to the doctor regardless of merit. Talking about the second step, it is important to only talk to the insurer or defense attorney because involving other people who are not part of the situation could potentially make them a witness and you jeopardizing any defense. When a medical professional is being sued for malpractice, there are some steps to be followed. So the first step would be contact insurer as soon as there is a claim. Discuss claim only with defense attorney. Comply with authorized requests to release patient records and other steps. Let's go on to the next slide. People who practice law have to conform with ethics. Just for being in the profession itself as a lawyer, lawyers are expected to adhere to certain standard. If a lawyer fails to perform the job and resulted to a financial loss to a client, the lawyer could be liable for damages. Aside from what has already mentioned, there are risks that are present in jobs under the professional industry. For an instance, in the barbershop, there could be health risk to customers. Transmission of bloodborne pathogens may be possible through nicks and cuts caused by sharp objects such as razor. Some chemicals that are used to treat hair may result to allergic or adverse reactions on consumers. Barbers also need to follow some sanitation standards to make sure customers' safety is taken care of. When the pandemic happened, the barbershop industry took a hit. Establishments were closed for months. When it started to open back up, it did not operate at full capacity. Additionally, it had to follow the Centers for Disease and Control guidelines or CD, along with other industries such as healthcare to maintain, example, a social distance of 6 feet, wearing a mask, and to constantly do hand hygiene. There are several health and safety procedures that need to be followed in a certain profession. For instance, in the barbershop or hair grooming industry, safety precautions should be practiced when dealing with hazardous materials. There could be skin conditions that could arise, such as dermatitis. Dermatitis causes the skin to become red, dry, and blistered. Too much hand washing could also lead to dryness. It is important to keep moisturizers in handy. In professional industry, there could be times when consumers become argumentative. It is important to know protocols such as when it's alright to refuse service if needed. On my next slide, I will be discussing this table or figure 1.1. So there are statistics that I gathered about professional industry. So the percent of jobs in the United States back in 2004, it was cost 14,209, and to 2014 is 18,057.4, and in 2024 it's estimated to be at 21,852.2. The percent of revenue compared to the gross domestic product is equal to $4,504.8 billion. So, when talking about GDP or gross domestic product, it is one of the acronyms mentioned in the presentation. It refers to the value of goods and services produced in the country. What can GDP numbers tell you? It could determine the growth of an economy, how the state is performing compared to others, and what industries are performing well or worse. As one of my fellow classmates already mentioned, it is estimated that there's going to be a 10% to 20% growth in the job industry or professional industry in this coming 2031. The percent of growth and decline within the past 5 years. So this is going to be estimated at 8.24 average growth rate. The percent of growth of stock prices for the past 5 years compared to the changes in stock market and professional industry is in negative 46.08% year to date. Percent of entry of new participants and exit of previous sector. There are barriers involving, example, like it's hard to come into the professional industry because it requires education, passing licensure exams, and so on and so forth. So if you're not qualified and you were not able to pass the exam, so you're not allowed to practice at a certain job. The average age of workers and number of female executives. Again, you want the company to be diverse. Like it's a mixture of different races, demographics, sex, because we want to also a proper combination of female and to male ratio, right? So the more diverse a company is, the better they can do with planning and making decisions. And lastly, the sustainability efforts, attaining certifications for sustainable performance in accordance with NSF and ANSI 93.
To improve creativity and profit in professional and business services, the best solution will be in investing in modern technologies. In particular, artificial intelligence can be used to bring cost of services down, which allows for greater profit. Expanding on the ways artificial intelligence already is being used allows for greater innovation. In the legal field, some of these methods are e-discovery, expertise automation, legal research, document management, contract and litigation document analytics and generation, and predictive analytics. Creativity and collaboration are especially important in the professional business and services sector because without an accurate exchange of information, there will be less progress. In the healthcare industry, doctors rely on accurate medical data to be exchanged for better patient care. AI can be introduced into these systems as well to help sort through all the given information as discussed in an article in the academic journal Machine Learning. The article mentions how useful AI can be in specific situations, such as the coronavirus. Pandemics undermine the underlying social structures that connect individuals together. Dealing with these systemic risks requires merging clinical data with a variety of diverse social data. Diverse industry, difficult comparisons due to variety of roles available in the sector industry, digitizing the workforce, including cloud-based innovations, risk-averse industry sector, following standards or protocols to avoid litigation or legal action, benefits of AI in the legal industry, effects of the pandemic on the industry sector, business closures occurred and resulted in increased unemployment rates.
The next slides will be the reference that we use for our presentation. Again, thank you for watching.